Welcome back, Wolfpack. Velas here, and this is how to use Chansey. So Chansey, you're going to see a lot more than Blissey, mostly because it has the same stats, but gets access to Eviolite, which means it's going to get a nice boost to those defenses, that while its hit points are already incredibly high, Blissey doesn't really add much more to it, and with your defensive boost, it's like you're getting roughly 50 base defense when you put max investment with a nature on top of the boost from Eviolite. So it does get a lot stronger, and then you're getting a lot more special defense out of it. So really, Chansey just becomes the huge threat that sacrifices its item slot to get much more effective stats. And when you just kind of look at Chansey and Blissey overall, you know, huge amount of special defense bulk comes to mind, as well as some decent physical bulk. Even though it has almost no defenses, its huge hit points make it more than enough to be able to survive some to most physical hits. Look at its typing, it's a normal typing, which is just excellent. If you want to not take damage, normal is generally the way to go. That you only have a weakness to fighting, which is going to be Chansey's bane since it is normally physical anyway. But on top of that, you just have a lot of craziness with the immunity to Ghost, and then tons of normal moves. Alright, hopping into Pokemon Showdown, we're going to see a lot of ways that people run Chansey. That one of the main ones is Wish, Thunder Wave, Seismic Toss, Heal Bell. Now Chansey is a very, I can't even stress how safe of a Pokemon it is. That if your opponent has special attacks, you're pretty much going to get a free switch in on Chansey, some form of free heal, or some form of free setup. That Chansey can have access to Thunder Wave, Toxic for kind of statusing your opponent, and then it also has Seismic Toss. So its low attack stat doesn't really mean anything because you get off a Seismic Toss, you do roughly a quarter of your opponent's health, depending on how their hit points are, but it's going to be somewhere around a quarter of their health from that, doing the damage equal to the user's level. And then from there you can use Heal Bell to kind of support the rest of your team, or Wish to heal yourself, or heal another Pokemon. That what you do is you bring in Chansey, set up Wish, and then you can switch out, and then you're going to be just set up from there because the Pokemon coming in is going to gain 50% of Chansey's health. So effectively, you can almost full heal some Pokemon because you have so much hit point bulk and you're healing for half of that. It's kind of ridiculous what Wish on Chansey can do when you start thinking about it. Also, Heal Bell, it's just a really good pivot move, and Natural Cure means that Chansey is never going to be statused to a point where it can't handle it. Like if it gets burned, paralyzed, put to sleep, or even Toxic. Like if it's on a couple turns of Toxic Timer, switch out, Natural Cure, no more poison. Unless Chansey's last Pokemon on your team, status is not a thing for you. After that, we also have some other ideas to run Chansey that, you know, you run Toxic, Seismic Toss. Set up Toxic, Seismic Toss, 3 turns later, KO. On top of that, you have Soft Boiled for a huge amount of heal, and Minimize to just kind of be a frustrating little annoyance if you can. You come in, set up 2 Minimize, Soft Boiled and Seismic Toss your way to victory, and then you can Toxic whatever else is in your way. Works actually surprisingly scarily well, which is probably why a lot of people have animosity towards Minimize, mostly because of Chansey. Because, I mean, it's already hard enough to KO, even if you're hitting it physically, it can still be a 3-hit KO, and then it becomes almost impossible to hit. Also, let's take a look at the EVs I have set up here. So I was thinking Impish Nature with that defense, and then try to just max out as much as you can get out of it, and try to boost it up, because what you're going to have at that point is something close, actually it's going to be over 200 defense at level 50, which isn't bad with 600 hit points at level 100, over 200 defense at level 100 as well. So it's going to be incredibly tanky than the rest in the special defense. The reason why you don't want to put any EV investment into hit points, even though it seems counterproductive, is that your hit points are so large that, look, it goes from 642 to 704. You're only getting like a 10% boost to your hit points, when with special defense and defense, you're doubling your defense. You're going more than double your defense. You're getting a lot more of effective defense out of that. But with special defense, you're also still getting a lot more. That's closer to a 5th instead of a 10th on the special defense. So you're going to get more usage out of that as well. Also, we have just a lot of other crazy ways that you can look into Chansey. That what I was thinking, so you can max out the hit points this way, go with the Impish Nature on the defense, and then run Calm Mind. Now, Calm Mind, I'm not even going to use for offense. I'm just going to use it defensively. That with one Calm Mind, I'm already higher than special defense. I have all these free extra hit points I invested into, and my defense is still really awesome. Well, not awesome, but it's still really good for my hit points. So I can get the most out of it, still have Seismic Toss, Toxic, and Soft Boiled. Pretty much like trading off the Minimize or the Heal Bell, in this case, for the extra defensive special defense boost. Even though you're already such a special defense tank, it could be good just to really round out as a tank, become even a physical wall to a degree. And then I was also looking into some other options. This isn't a moveset, this is just like an idea, thinking pool, that Chansey still has the Serene Grace ability. Not many Pokemon have Serene Grace, and it should be respected. That with Blizzard, 20% chance to freeze each opponent that it hits, and you can hit twice in doubles while still being a huge tank. Also, Chansey has Psych Up. Same with Skill Swap, that if you can get Skill Swap onto Chansey, and then you just give Serene Grace to any Pokemon for almost free, and then Psych Up is also just going to be something that if you have a Pokemon that's used defensive boosts, now Chansey can have, you know, maybe even an Iron defense, maybe some kind of special defense with its huge bulk, and it's going to be almost impossible to KO. And it goes without saying, back in the old days of Generation 4, if you wanted to be an insane player, even Generation 5, you used to run the Skarm Bliss combo. I need to pay some respect to Skarm Bliss because it is just devastating. So it's called Skarm Bliss because you run Skarmory Blissey, and the idea is you have a huge physical tank that just ignores everything. And then at the same regard, you have a huge special defense tank that ignores everything. So if you see a physical threat, you bring in Skarmory, Stealth Rock, Spikes, Roost, and if they switch out into a special attacker to handle you, you go into Chansey or Blissey. Like, Eviolite Chansey became a thing in 5th generation because of the Eviolite. But you go into Chansey or Blissey to soak up those special hits, and then you set up the Wish for Skarmory again, you heal yourself, or you just, set up a status like Thunder Wave, and you force out a lot of switches. While you're forcing out the switches, Stealth Rocks and Spikes burn them down, and it just devastates people. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, a little bit of blast from the past, as well as how to use Chansey. And did I forget to mention counter?